Okay, we're going to very briefly and quickly cover pots and pans. Pots and pans are essential in the professional kitchen. This is sometimes referred to as cookware. We will get into some future lessons that handle some of these particular types of cookware on a more individualized basis. There's all kinds of shapes and sizes and different materials: copper, cast iron, chrome, stainless steel, aluminum, with or without nonstick coating. And it just really depends on what you're making and what type of food item you have as to which type that you need. So as you become more experienced cooks, this will be something that will be second nature to you. So we're just going to kind of cover all of them as we kind of go here. So the brazier is also called the rondeau, and this is a kind of a large to medium. It is shallow and it has straight sides that come up in two handles. So this is a really heavy, very large. You're probably not going to find this in a like a home kitchen, because of the size of this is typically designed for a more commercial piece of equipment. The sauce pot down here, directly below that, it is a very similar item. It is just a little bit deeper than the rondeau is. So the rondeau, you would braise meat and vegetables, and then the sauce pot, you would pretty much make sauces in. Over here on the right, this is a double boiler. So a double boiler is a very commonly used product. I use it both at home, I use it in the food lab. When you're dealing with direct heat contact, there are many food items that can burn and scorch on the bottom. And so when you want a little bit more of a delicate type of heat, and this is heating milk or cream or butter, chocolate will burn very fast. And once you go even just a tiny little bit burnt on these products, you're done. You're done. It's ruined. So a double boiler is two stacked items, and you are actually going to be using the top item here to do the cooking or the melting or the heating. The lower vessel has a small amount of water that is set on simmer, not a big hard rolling boil. You're not trying to create a lot of steam. You just want a nice little simmer underneath to gently heat the bottom of this upper vessel. Now, in the picture, you see a specially designed pot and pan combo, and these are really common. My grandmother had one. I used one. As I got older, I learned that a saucepan on the bottom and a large metal mixing bowl that nests down in it very easily works just fine. So in the food lab, generally we use a metal bowl set on top of a pan. It needs to nest together very well. It needs to fit together very well, completely covering that bottom vessel, not being too sloped up on the sides. But that's a really easy thing to create using different equipment. A stock pot is for creating stock. We make large quantities of soup, maybe even boil pasta, things like that in there. In the commercial kitchen, a very, very large one, particularly when it's going to be full, you would find a spigot in the bottom. So that would just be a little spout at the bottom so that you could take the liquid off without having to pick it up and move it. In the regular home kitchen, that's not something that's typically found, but you probably do have a deep pot. Pans are going to be smaller and they're going to be more shallow. So these are more for cooking on the stovetop, sauteing, frying, reducing liquids, baking, and for holding food. So when we're looking at pans, our first three here, a cake pan is going to have straight sides and a flat bottom. This is not for cooking on top of a stove. You can have non-stick ones or aluminum ones. You can have specialty shaped ones. You always, in baking, you'll learn about how to properly grease and prepare that pan. It's really important that you follow those steps or you'll destroy your product. A cast iron skillet is a very thick and heavy pan, and this is made of cast iron. And this is used to pan fry or grill, saute around meat and vegetables. It's a really good product because it gets hot and it stays hot. And you can also cook for a long period of time in this. I use these regularly at home and also in the classroom. Also because they're virtually indestructible. And for people that are learning how to cook and learning how to control heat and learning about the stove and their food products, the cast iron skillet is really good, just for learning about um, the recovery of the heat when you put food into the pan, and just being able to utilize that. A crepe pan, if you've ever had a crepe before, it's like a very, very thin pancake. They're a little bit chewy, and they're often filled with sweet or savory items and rolled up and drizzled in something. So a crepe pan is a really shallow skillet. It's very short sides. You're not putting very much oil or anything in that. So you're making a very thin pancake. A fish poacher is not something that you'll see in our food lab or in a lot of kitchens, but you would definitely see that in a restaurant if that's an item that would be on your menu. Muffin tins, I think most people are familiar with these. These are pans. They have small little round molds, and these are used for muffin, cupcakes, or other specialty baked goods or molded goods. Hotel pans. Hotel pans are very common. They are used in all restaurants and all commercial equipment. They come in various sizes. They hold things on a steam table. If you've ever been to a buffet, you have served yourself food items from a hotel pan. They go in hot cabinets, they go in refrigerators. You can use them for baking or roasting, poaching. It's thin. It's not really something that you're cooking in. It's more that you're holding and serving in these things. These do come kind of in standard sizes. And so the cool thing about it is that restaurant equipment is also designed to hold these pans. And if you notice the way they're laid out here, you have a full size hotel pan, and then you have half size, and then you have quarter size, and then you start getting down. When you're looking at something like a big steam table, they fit down in there standardly, and you have a lot of options. So the way that you can put the different food items out varies, but it all fits together, and that makes that really nice, particularly for the equipment and the pans. They also come in different depths, and have lids that go along with them. Furthering along in pans here, you have a roasting pan. This is a shallow rectangular pan, medium high sides, two handles. You would roast and bake food items. A saucepan, this is something that you'll use very often. This is medium height, straight sides, a long handle, in general cooking. So any kind of liquid-based mixtures on the stove. A saute pan is going to have sloping sides, and so it's got a flat bottom, and the sides come up nice and round, and that's for flipping foods easily in the pan. A sautoir is a pan that's similar to a saute pan, but it has straight sides, and this is used for pan frying, stir frying, and shallow poaching. A sheet pan is a really big cookie sheet. It's about 1 inch deep, and this is for baking cookies, roasting vegetables. They also come in various lengths and sizes. The biggest full size sheet pan you will not fit into a regular home oven, but it fits perfectly into the commercial large restaurant equipment. A half size would be a cookie sheet that would fit into a regular oven for your home, and then you have quarter sizes. A springform pan is a specially designed pan that opens up. So it has a bottom, and it has a side, and the side has a spring on the side that will release the bottom. And this is used for things that you are baking or doing or molding that you are not flipping out of the pan like a cake. So a cake pan, you would flip your food item out. If you are not flipping it out and you need to get it out more delicately, the most common thing a springform pan is used for is a cheesecake. And then finally, you have the wok. The wok is used primarily in Asian or stir fry type of cooking, and it has a flat bottom and very deep sloping sides. And it's a wonderful piece of equipment. It cooks things hot and fast and easy.